Hello and welcome to this class. Today we'll be learning about the post-Freudian theories of personality. Post-Freudians are those people who have borrowed from Freud's theory of personality but have differed from Freud on some points. So they have borrowed certain assumptions, certain principles of the Freudian theory of personality, but they have also differed from some of the things which Freud proposed, and it is these differences which made them come up with their own theories of personality development. So here is a list of some post-Freudians. These are Karen Horney, Erik Erikson, Carl Jung, Alfred Adler, Erich Fromm. So in this lesson, we'll start first with Karen Horney's theory to personality. Karen Horney differed from Freud on some of the important assumptions. Freud assumed or Freud proposed that females and males differ from each other in terms of a feeling of inferiority in girls regarding the absence of the male organ in their body. So Freud talked about this in the phallic stage of development. If we quickly recollect what Freud gave as stages of development, the first was oral, then the anal, then phallic, latency, and genital. These are the 5 stages of psychosexual development. So during the third stage or the phallic stage, Freud proposed that female child suffers from an inferiority feeling for not possessing the male organ. So according to Freud, the female child feels inferior to the male child. Karen Horney differed from Freud on this assumption. Karen Horney argued that it is not the anatomical differences between boy and the girl that brings about a feeling of inferiority within the girl. She argued that girls feel inferior to boys at this age around 3 to 5, not because they lack the physical characteristics of the boy, but because of the fact that girls and boys are treated differently in the society. So it is the treatment of the girl which makes the girl feel inferior to the boy, and this is not because of anatomy but because of the society that places a lot of power and authority on the male child. So males in a society, in most societies, are generally considered to be more powerful, more of an authority figure than the female, and that is what, according to Karen Horney, that is what makes the female child feel inferior to the male child. Both Karen Horney and Erich Fromm believed that girls feel inferior to the boy, but Freud believed that this inferiority is because of the anatomical differences, whereas Horney argued that it is not the anatomical differences but the social environment in which they grew up. Horney further argued that in case a girl child feels inferior to a boy child because of the anatomical differences, it is a pathological occurrence. It is more of a psychological disorder. So this is not a normal course of development that the girl child feels herself to be inferior from the boy child because of anatomy. In case the girl feels inferior because of anatomical differences, it reflects not a normal course of development but a development which is disordered or a certain kind of illness. So according to Horney, it is not normal for a girl child to feel inferior to a boy child on the basis of anatomy. The girl child may feel inferior because of the social differences in the way girls and boys are treated by the society. Two major components of Horney's theory are basic anxiety and basic hostility. To understand what is meant by basic anxiety and basic hostility, let us for a moment imagine the world of a child. Since the time of birth, for a very long time, a human baby is dependent on the adults around him or her for all kinds of physical and psychological needs. their body needs, their psychological needs. So they need a lot of love, care, affection, and lot of provisions which are required for their body. They need food, they need safety, and also a lot of provisions which are required by their psychological being or by their mind. And what is it that you require for your psychological being? It is a sense of connection, love, care, concern, nurturance. All this is food for the mind, heart, and soul. Just as your body needs food and nutrients, your mind needs love, care, concern, respect, connection with others. So, all this is the food that is required by your mind, your heart, and your soul, and that is all which is the psychology, which comprises the psychology of a child or an individual. Not only a child, even the adult needs. Even an adult needs love, care, concern. All this is needed by everyone, but primarily for children, these are very important conditions for children to thrive as individuals, for children to grow as individuals. When we grow up, we develop a sense of reasoning. We have understood in cognitive theory, of Piaget's cognitive theory, that we develop reasoning. We can reason out things. If somebody is behaving badly with us, we know, we can understand why the person is doing that. But a young child is not equipped to reason in that way. So that is why children are much more dependent for their physical and psychological survival and growth on adults around them. So what happens is that because children are basically dependent, this is what Horney argued, because of the fact that children are dependent on adults, what happens is that they seek a lot of security and safety from their parents. Now, when parents are caring enough, what they do is that they build a sense of security and safety within the child's mind. So, with all the nurturance, care, concern, relationship, love, with all this, parents are able to instill a sense of security and a sense of safety within the child. Whereas if the parents are erratic, indifferent, or rejecting, erratic is not reliable, indifferent is unconcerned, rejecting is parents who do not accept their children with love and care and affection. So, if parents are not involved in parenting, what happens is that the child feels insecure and unsafe in the world. And this is when basic anxiety starts to develop. If the parents are not caring enough, what happens is that there is a basic anxiety which develops in the child. Coming to basic hostility is usually what accompanies basic anxiety. So when the child feels, a sense of insecurity and a sense of not being safe, so when the child feels anxious, basic anxiety is there, then the child also feels a basic hostility towards the parent for not caring enough for the child. So there is a sense of resentment, there is a sense of revolt within the child against the parents whom the child feels as not enough loving, caring, and nurturing. So this is the concept of basic hostility which accompanies basic anxiety. Parents who are loving and caring are able to keep basic anxiety away from their children. Parents who are not involved in parenting bring up their children in ways which result in a sense of basic anxiety within the child. And what accompanies basic anxiety is a sense of basic hostility or resentment against the parent. Now, going further, because hostility cannot be expressed directly to parents, it is typically repressed. We have learned in psychoanalytic theory given by Freud that repression is a defense mechanism which the ego uses to push away those things which are anxiety provoking to the unconscious. Now, that is the concept which Horney is also using here. What she's saying is that when there is a basic hostility within the child, what happens is that there is this unconscious ego defense mechanism of repression coming in place and saving the child from basic anxiety. So what happens is that when there is hostility, because this hostility is difficult to express to the parents, very difficult for the child to express the hostility to the parents. And also, if this hostility remains at the conscious level of the child's mind, it will give a lot of pain to the child. So what happens is that the ego manages this anxiety by utilizing an ego defense mechanism, which is called repression, wherein the ego pushes away this basic hostility to the child's unconscious mind. Children dependent on their parents and unable to express their true feeling directly depend on the three modes of social behavior. Horney says that there are three ways in which children who have basic anxiety and basic hostility, they behave. So there are three ways in which they can behave. One is moving towards others, the second is moving against others, the second bullet point, and the third one is moving away from others. Moving towards others is a passive style in which children try to cope by being agreeable and compliant. So they become very suggestible, unassertive kind of people who comply to what others say, who generally agree to what others say. So they don't have any voice of their own. The second style, which is moving against others, is an aggressive style where children try to cope up with basic anxiety and basic hostility by being dominating over others, or by behaving in an aggressive manner. The third style is moving away from others. Moving away involves a withdrawn style. So such people, they don't connect with people much, and they protect themselves by way of withdrawing from others. So they do not connect with others, they do not relate with other people, because they want to protect themselves by remaining away from people. So these are the three styles, or the three basic ways in which, according to Karen Horney, children who are suffering from basic anxiety and basic hostility are able to cope up with such feelings of hostility and anxiety. They can either move towards people, or they can move against others, or they can move away from others. So in the Freudian theory, we understood that there is a concept of fixation. If you remember, fixation was arrest of the growth at a particular stage, because of oversatisfaction or undersatisfaction of the needs of that particular stage. I gave you the example of smoking, where smoking is seen from the Freudian perspective as a fixation at the oral stage, where pleasure is mostly sought from the mouth. So Horney differs from Freud and says that problems which are psychological in nature are not because of fixation, but because of the disturbed interpersonal relationships during childhood. Okay, so what she says is that basic anxiety and basic hostility results in a child who, after becoming an adult, finds it very difficult to relate to others and has problems of psychological nature. So all the psychological problems, according to Freud, were because of fixation, but according to Horney, psychological problems, are because of the disturbed interpersonal relationships which the child has faced during childhood. Horney further goes on to say that these disturbed relationships which the child experiences with the parents during childhood also affects the way child relates with parents after the child grows up. In a nutshell, according to Horney, the personality of a child is shaped in childhood by the interpersonal relationships which the child shares with his or her parents during childhood. So this is what Horney basically believed, that one's personality forms during childhood as a result of the child's interaction or the child's interpersonal relationships with his or her parents. So Freud and Horney differ in their theories of personality. Freud believed that personality develops primarily because of the psychosexual development. So he placed a lot of emphasis on the sexual development of the child. and problems later on in adulthood, psychological problems were seen as the result of fixation at any stage of psychosexual development. Whereas Horney believes that personality is shaped by the quality of interpersonal relationships that the child witnesses during childhood, and psychological problems also result because of the disturbed interpersonal relationships which the child has faced during childhood. So, this is all we needed to learn about Karen Horney's theory to personality. In our next lesson, we will take up Erik Erikson's theory of personality. Happy learning.